Good morning, Lily Buns. The big girl. Good morning, Delilah. The devil child. You want a drink? Nope. And good morning, afternoon, evening to everyone else. Today, we're going to be making a video on CarX Street. I'm going to talk a little bit about tuning, a little bit about the drifting on this game, and the differences with the new update and the special drift cars. So this right here, this is my baby. I spent, I don't know how long, probably like 3 hours trying to do this design the other day because they finally added stickers onto this game. After, I don't know how long of us waiting for it, they finally did it. Thank God. But with the new tuning, just thought I'd try to explain a couple things. Show which things will make the cars feel different. I really haven't tried this game too much on controller, but I'm guessing everything kind of correlates from wheel to controller enough where this should be able to help a little bit of everyone. Get this thing back to the garage. I love this area over here. If you guys ever are building a car from scratch, I'll show you on the map where this is. But there's a perfect line that you can do that goes in a full circle, and you can use the tuning shop and the design shop right next to each other. I think it's in, yeah, kind of leftish over here, right in the middle. But you can use this line, and you can either go down this way, or you can go all the way around if you want. But I think for this video, we'll just be using this nice little short one. It's just perfect for figuring out what you need to change, what does what, feel things out a little bit so you can get a good idea of what you need for your car. I'll go into my tuning a little bit on this car, and what I'm kind of wanting to do is maybe grab one of the other new cars like the RX-7 or 240 and just kind of start from scratch and show you where it starts from and what you can make it be. So for spring lengths, of course, I don't really know exactly where it started. I think it started right around here. I always, just try to get that good, nice stance, but also you want good performance in it. You don't want every single bump to be throwing you off the road, which it's hard in this game. The physics need some work, but hopefully it'll get there. We'll see. The game still almost crashes on me every 20 minutes, so I don't know if I have high hopes or not, but we all know how CarX is. Let's talk about the good stuff. So, camber on your front, you don't want to go too crazy. This isn't a full simulation game like Assetto or anything, but these things do matter. It will change how your car feels. It will change how it feels on your wheel. It just really can make a difference. Everything can make a small difference that you can actually feel. So I try to keep it around 5 in the front, and in the back, you really want basically 0. You want the back to be grippy, but with the power of these cars in this game, and just for it looking cool, about 2.7 to 3 or 4, it'll feel pretty good. It should still be pretty grippy for you where it won't be sliding out on the middle of corners or anything, but I think that works pretty well for me so far. Caster. So the best way to explain caster in this game is, especially on wheel, of course, I don't know how it is on controller, guessing it's pretty similar-ish, but on the wheel, the more caster you have, the more it'll throw back for you. You won't be driving as much with your arms, you'll be using your feet more. So I've tried the extremes of caster, and if you turn it all the way up, it gets real shaky. It's throwing you around everywhere. So right in the middle where I'm at, it's 11.8 for this S15, and it just kind of it throws back, but it doesn't shake. It doesn't throw you off the road. It doesn't act weird. You want everything to be smooth and linear and just feel right. And of course, caster's not on the back. We will worry about the back later. There's not as much to do on the back as the front. Ackerman. So back when I used to play CarX Drift Racing on the controller, Ackerman changed everything on controller. I'm pretty sure the way it worked is if you had it all the way up, there was absolutely no way to spin around and do a 360. It always kept you where you were supposed to be. This game, on the wheel, all the way up does not feel good, and all the way down does not feel good. But Ackerman is really going to come down to what you like your car to feel like. I have it set to 12 right now, and I think that it throws the wheel back to me just the perfect amount. It's not too fast, it's not lugging too much, it doesn't feel like it's just doing its own thing. It still works as I think it should for this car and for what I'm trying to do. With the new ultimate settings, steering angle goes all the way up to 68. Throw that thing up as much as you want. You should have it all the way, but if you're having some troubles, maybe try bringing it down a little bit. Tow will be a big thing on initiation. So I'm pretty sure they start it in the middle here. You really only want about one click over. If you're having a lot of trouble with a low horsepower car, you might maybe try 2 clicks or maybe 3, but you don't want it to be too much. Things might start feeling weird. Dampers, the bumps and stuff, I don't mess with them. I don't know much about it. I know that you can mess with them if you want to. If you're on like a track or something and you love that track, you're always doing that same line, and there's just one little bump that throws the car off, you might be able to mess with those things and get it to the point where everything still bumps you the right way and it compresses the ways it should and it doesn't mess with the car. But I drift around everywhere. I don't mess with it. It is what it is. For braking, I always put the front brake balance to the front because if you're in the middle of a corner and you messed up, you're going a little bit too fast, a car's coming, whatever. You want to be able to just tap that and be able to move the car around however you want. I like it where you press it, and if you're going into a right hand corner, your car, once you hit the brakes, will slide a little bit back. Or if you really need it to, you press hard enough and the car will straighten out. For me, having it like this works perfectly. I haven't tried it on other cars yet, but for me, this is just right for some reason. It just works. On the rear, like I said, not as much you have to do. Try to get whatever kind of fitment you want. I don't like it super tucked, but if you do, drop that thing. Do whatever you want. Spring stiffness, I like it a little bit harder. It just doesn't slop around as much, it feels like, but you won't feel too much of a big difference if you move that around a lot. Stabilizers, I always move them up a little bit. Have not felt any difference in changing those, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Camber, like I was saying earlier, you don't want too much on the back, but you can have it a little stancy. I mean, it looks pretty straight from here, but a little stancy. Toe on the front, you want it to the left, which is out. On the back, you want it a little bit to the right, which is in. I make it equal, one click out, one click in. Bump stuff, I don't mess with, of course. And then another big thing that a lot of people don't mess with enough is your tire pressures. If your car has low horsepower, you can turn up your rear tire pressure all the way and you will most likely be able to still drift. If it's sliding around too much and you find yourself entering a corner and it just sliding out, then drop your front pressure. I don't have that problem with this car, so I just like it to be even so I can hold a good speed, because if you do drop those pressures, you will be losing speed. Spacers, that's just a look you want to go in and out. I just like it where it looks like the car, if it really compresses, it wouldn't be hitting the tire. Just makes it realistic. Body stuff doesn't matter too much. You gotta pay for this stuff. I don't really care enough to pay for it because I doubt it really changes anything for drifting. If anything, more weight might actually be good for you. But if you want your weight distribution to be more centered, that might help you a little bit with certain things. So your gear shifting speed, I turn that all the way down, of course, because you want to be able to shift fast. Transmission losses, turn that down all the way so you're getting the most horsepower to your tires. The more up this is, the less power that you will be getting. It won't be much, you won't even feel it, but they added it in the game, so might as well use it. Your final drive is what you're mainly going to be messing with for if your car is dogging too much, if it's revving up too high, or if it's not revving up at all in like all the gears, mess with that. Once you get to the actual gears, you don't have to mess with this stuff that much, but what I like to do is make it where third gear is my primary gear. So I believe I slowed it down a little bit. And then second gear, I slowed that down just a little bit. First gear is normal. Fourth gear is fine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure fourth gear is right where it started. And fifth gear and sixth gear, I started to speed those up a little bit just in case I have to use them and I'm really sending it, that will work for me. I think that's pretty much it for this car. I don't have it fully upgraded yet. We're working on it. Once I get to actually grinding on this game, it'll be a little bit more interesting, but it is what it is. And also engine swaps. So with these new cars, if you change the engine, you do not get the special parts for the engine anymore. Kinda lame, don't know why they did it. I don't know why they only made 3 cars that have this special stuff anyway. But I like 2JZs. I'm gonna put a 2JZ in it because that's my dream, to have a fucking S15 with a 2JZ. But yeah, I don't know, that's kinda lame. I think they should fix that. And after we do this loop, I think I'm gonna grab probably the RX-7 and just go through what they have it is as stock and what you can do to make that better. What things will actually matter for you and change things for you. And another good thing is with these cars, they come with enough power and they come with the settings good enough where it's like, you can drift these things. If you don't know how to drift yet, if you have the $5 to spend on that DLC, do it and then just use that car until you figure things out enough where, oh, I should just turn traffic off. But yeah, this loop is perfect for tuning. As you guys can see, I can basically steer this thing with minimal input. I got it to the point where it's mostly just throttle. And if you are learning how to drift still, and that's why you're on this video, it's all throttle control. It made no sense to me when I first started either. It feels like you're just doing something wrong and you're spinning out in every corner, but it's just time behind the wheel. Spend more time doing it. My best advice would be just to go to a parking lot or something like this. Do donuts until you can hold them, then do figure eights until you can hold them. And also just mess around with just using the clutch and just doing this. Sometimes you just use too much steering. Most of the time you can just barely touch it or just hold it in place and you'll be able to hold what you're holding. Alright, let me go grab the RX-7. We'll drift around for a little bit and then change some things and show you guys what actually these settings can do for you. Alright guys, we're in the bone stock RX-7. Haven't touched a single thing on it yet. And like I said, It still drifts pretty good, but the main thing I feel right now, right off the bat, is this just feels loose. It's thrown around too much, it's not catching by itself. And that can get in your head when you're first starting. If you don't know what's going on, you don't know what it should feel like, then that can hurt you because you're just slipping around everywhere. So we'll get this thing back to the shop. Oh my. You know what, that was almost cool. Almost cool. Yeah, you really just gotta work at this thing. It sounds good though. Doesn't sound entirely like a rotary, but they did a pretty good job. I really need to turn off this traffic so I can actually do some good drifting for you guys. Oh! Okay. 360 for the boys. Oh, I mean, it kind of worked. I'll count it. It's no goosiest 360, but I'll count it. Man, this thing is a handful. Ooh. See, it should not be doing that. Maybe it's just because the angle isn't turned up enough, but it should not be spinning out with just that much angle. On some dirt roads, jeez. Ooh. I'm still getting used to having a handbrake. I haven't had it very long, and on this game it's a little different. I'm guessing it's pretty close to real life where you actually gotta hold the clutch when you're using the handbrake. So if you're throwing it into a corner and you got a downshift, you're already holding the clutch. Then you gotta let go of the handbrake, throw it into, let's say, second gear. Oh lord. And then drop the clutch and feather it out, which is not easy. Let's see if I can throw it around this big corner. Yeah, not really. Doesn't really get the power for it. That'd be cool if it actually was in the corner entry. I'm going back to that same place too, I love tuning there. And maybe I'll customize this thing a little bit after, even though I have no money, but throw something on it, or at least change the color. I wonder if I can just... Oh lord! Well, there's a shortcut for y'all. Larson Racing approved shortcut right there. $60. Clean. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what they gave us. So that's on prototype. Like I said, these things are pretty built. If it's not on prototype, they're pretty much at ultimate. You don't need to change a whole lot to drift these things. None of that really matters. I think they give you, yeah, some engine upgrades, give it a little bit more power. What will matter for this thing too is just turning up rev limiter, turbo, get a little bit more oomph out of it. But let's go to wheels. That's not where I want to go. Let's go to tuning, wheels. Turn up that pressure. It was really slippery, so I'm actually going to drop this down one. Go to suspension. The ride height looks decent for now with this body kit. I'll leave it. Make it a little bit stiffer on both sides. Might as well. And then stabilizer, like I said earlier, throw that up one or more. I don't know. I don't feel a difference whenever I change it, so it is what it is. I'm gonna drop this down. Oh, quick hint. If you drop this down and you want it right in the middle, drop it down. Select that you, what's that? What do they say over there? Yeah, select apply. And then you can go back one or two and get it right exactly where you want it. Caster, I'll throw it up 1. I like to get it around 12-ish. Ackerman, I want it to be about, yeah, 10, but 12 is fine. Steering angle, yeah, it's at 53. It can go up to 68. That's gonna help everything. Toe, about a click out. Slow bump, don't care. Braking force, a little bit more powerful. A little bit more towards the front. Let's go to the back. Already did the stabilizer. Camber. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's like inverted and it's still -1. Even though if it were me, like in real life, I'd want it at 0 and it would not look positive like that. So just put it at what looks good. It looks like I'm gonna have to go with like 4. Let's see if it'll even let me. 3.8, that's fine. Toe, about a click out. Or in, actually. And then bumps, doesn't matter. So all I messed with is the wheel pressure, those quick suspension settings, and really nothing else. It could probably, does this cost me money? Yeah, that cost me money. That doesn't, it could probably use some tuning in there, but for the sake of this right now, we're really just messing with suspension. Let's go out and give it a little test run. So now, you guys will see instantly, I'm not fighting the wheel anymore. It just helps everything. I am still feeling a little bit of play right here. Like right here, when you're in the middle, there's a little bit of just, you guys can kind of see it in the wheel, a little bit of slop. And what you can do to mess with that is mess with your Ackerman and caster. And you will be able to find a middle ground in there. If you're even on wheel. If you're on controller, I doubt you can feel that. But if you're on wheel, you can mess with that and probably make it where it's just a little bit stiff all the way around. That's how I like it, because I always feel like I'm in control of the actual car. Oops. Yeah, that just feels strange. And what could help too, now I'm thinking about it, maybe even less pressure in the front tires. Maybe the front tires just aren't gripping enough. Or maybe less camber. All of those things combined, you can find a nice little happy place in the middle there where you're happy with how it feels. What's up? I need to make a little compilation or something so you guys don't think I just suck ass at drifting. Alright. So let's go back. Upgrade. Let's try more caster. A little bit more Ackerman. And let's go into wheels. And we're going to drop the front bar to like 1.2. And honestly, this thing doesn't really need it. Let's drop that to 2.7. Let's go see if that helped anything. This is the thing I love about this game. Those small little things right there, you will feel them if you're on a wheel. It is very surprising because a lot of games really get that wrong. CarX Drift Racing got it wrong, but they did do that pretty good in streets. So yeah, that's a little bit better. There's a little bit of play, but you kind of want just a tad bit. I don't think you can ever really get it where it's like totally solid all the time. But that feels comfortable. That's enough where I can put this car online and get some tandems and be comfortable enough where I think I'd be alright. That truck always is there. Every single time I come around that corner, that same truck is always there. Oh, I love how long that gearing is. You can really, and that's with no tuning, you can rip this thing out to almost 9 with that rotary. Nice. Wasn't super clean, but I'll take it. That's the thing with these small little cars. Doing 360s, it really spins you around. But yeah, so to sum it up, with those small little things, you can get the car to the point where you want it. Ackerman and Caster, that's mostly, like, I'd say get it around to where I have it. Where Caster's just a little bit more than stock. Ackerman is like 15 to 20. And then just mess with it. You're not gonna know what they actually feel like to change if you don't change them and test it. So just spin. It probably only takes about 30 minutes, get in a new car, and just mess with those things. Find what you like. Because once you do find what you like, most cars that you throw it into, it's probably going to feel damn near the same. And if it's a little bit different, like this one is compared to this 15, then you'll figure it out. You know what you like, you know what you want it to feel like. And as long as you know what to actually mess with to get it there, it's not that bad. So I think I'm going to end that here. This is my first actual YouTube video. Might turn out like shit. Really uncomfortable sitting, talking to myself in an empty room with my cats. But I also got to figure out how to edit. And I don't know how that's going to go. I want to end up editing like Hurt from Hoonigan, where it's like you can do anything, bunch of cool little edits in there, and like just have fun with it. This has been my dream for a while, just to try this, and I bought this rig a while back, probably maybe a year ago, actually probably less than a year ago, and I had my GoPro, I had the funds to be able to buy the editing software and the things to record these through the desktop. I bought the computer, so it was really just a matter of time until I actually had the feeling that, hey, I need to start doing this, because if I don't, I'm never going to get better. And that should be a lesson to everyone that, I mean, everyone's heard it. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And life just gets real boring sometimes, and you just gotta change things. You gotta try for new things. And how are you gonna know if it wasn't the right thing if you never actually tried to do it? But have a good night, guys. Have a good day, good morning. Good luck at work, good luck at school. Hope this helped a little bit. Go in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time.